The Falcons have fired head coach Raheem Morris and GM Terry Fontenot. There have been rumors over the last 48 hours that the Falcons' strong finish to the season would be enough to save Morris's job, but those rumors proved false when the Falcons announced the firing of Morris less than 5 hours after the team's Week 18 finale win over the Saints, and shortly thereafter announced the dismissal of GM Terry Fontenot, who was on much less sure ground than Morris was going into the finale, given this was the culmination of a fifth consecutive losing season for the Falcons under Fontenot's watch. This was the right move for the Falcons. Morris made a number of missteps, probably the biggest one being too confident in the roster that Fontenot had built, that he inherited in 2024, with the belief that adding quarterbacks Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix would be the final piece to lift the team over the hump. And in their now 8-year playoff drought, didn't prove to be the case. Morris made questionable coordinator hires, had poor in-game management, and there was really no justification to keeping Morris. His teams shined brightly in primetime, but really struggled when the lights weren't brightest. And despite this late season surge, there was no reason to think that the results in 2026 were going to be drastically improved. The Falcons owner, Arthur Blank, had made a similar choice back in 2019 when the Falcons won their Final Four that year to save Dan Quinn's job, and then subsequently lost their first 5, costing Dan Quinn his job going into 2020, and it felt like history was on the verge of repeating itself. Terry Fontenot nailed the 2025 draft class with potential defensive rookie of the year, James Pierce, but it was too little too late. His big swings, his bold bets, besides the Pierce trade, consistently blew up in the team's face during his tenure. So the Falcons are not going to be running it back with Raheem and Terry. It's the right call. And they kick off 2026 on the hunt for new head coach, new GM. For more coverage on those searches, continue to check out Locked On Falcons, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.